Hi, I'm Heidi.
And I'm Rod.
From Garden Crossings, and today we are out in the greenhouses planting up our AquaPots that are going to sit in the front of our house. So every year we like to use the new 4 varieties, meaning we get sample plants from proven winners for the next season. So we're already looking ahead to 2026 with these new annual varieties that we'll be putting in these pots.
What are you talking about? I just start shipping 2025.
I know, but we're so lucky. We get to see these. We get to see them before they're available on the market and grow them and test them. And I mean, I think it is pretty nice that we do get these sample plants sent to us, because not only are we trialing them in pots, we're also doing it out in the landscape as well. And for you and the growers, it also helps you how to better grow them in the greenhouse environment as well.
Yeah, we just got a small experience with a small quantity.
Yep.
Before next year.
Yeah, we got maybe a dozen of maybe 12 or so different new varieties for next year. So just kind of a sampling of what's to come. And we're excited to be able to share with you today 6 of these new varieties that we're going to be using in our AquaPots. So our house faces the west, so typically we'll start getting sun around noon or so, and then it goes until sundown. So we would call these full sun planters that we're planting up. So Rod's going to go ahead. He's kind of played with them a little bit and kind of put a little layout together as to how he wants these in the pots. We were looking at kind of colors sorted together, the size of the plants, and I kind of went through and picked the ones we're going to use.
Well, you usually get to do that when you got the brand new plants from proven winners. You only have so much to choose from.
Right.
And it is more of a pastel color this year.
Yes, there's a lot of pastels.
We decided to do what is it? Cool Jazz, Vista Cool Jazz.
We're excited to show you the Vista Cool Jazz once we show you our house landscape once that's planted up. So that's a new variety for next year. A new Vista. Everybody loves the Vistas. Vista Bubblegum is kind of the most, I think, iconic and known one. But you always say that there's another one that's creeping its way up to the top.
Jazzberry will get there. Cool Jazz is just a soft pink.
Yeah, and
I don't know what I'm gonna like, if I'm gonna really like the look of it. I like the hot colors, but it's different. It's definitely a Vista. I just want to see what it looks like.
And I heard that Cool Jazz actually was a sport found in a block of jazzberry out in some greenhouse somewhere. So that's one thing we do in our greenhouse too, is when we're growing all of these plant varieties, sometimes we find some things that are different mixed in with a bunch of plants that we've never seen before.
We haven't found that one yet, though.
We haven't found the one. I think we found a decent handful of different unique sports, but nothing that's been of too much interest yet. Right. So we're going to go ahead. By we, I mean Rod. He's going to get in, dig in the dirt, get his hands dirty, and we're going to talk to you along the way of some of these new varieties. I've got tags here, so I'll be able to show you some of the pictures. Some of them are flowering, although you probably trim the flowers off.
A little bit.
So let's explain why we trim some of the flowers off when we're planting.
Well, what is it? In middle of April here in the greenhouse. Yeah. We can probably be outside maybe middle of May. We're planting a little earlier this year, but we got our samples earlier, so they're ready to go. And instead of trimming them back and then letting them grow on again, I think, just trim them back, put them in our pots, let them start all intermingling and growing on, and they should be relatively nice. And you'll see we'll be putting a palm in the center of these pots like we do every year. And sometimes when we wait till the last minute, we plant it and then we bring it to the house, then all of a sudden a wind comes, the palm kind of tips over.
So we're going to
try to get ourselves rooted in before we have to take them home in a month.
Yeah. Well, and part of the reason too why we trim the flowers off, and or if the plants are kind of long and leggy, we'll trim them back. And we do that in the greenhouse as well, like all the time.
Correct. It just promotes more branching, just like you would do a shrub or a perennial. An annual too. It just helps fill out that container a little bit better.
Right. So we would rather sell a nice full plant and flower than something long and stringy. So we do a lot of trimming in the greenhouse. And you might even, if you're ordering plants from us online, you may receive your plants and they may have been trimmed. And that's very intentional why we are doing that. And it's for the health and the beauty that you're going to have with those plants in your garden.
Yeah, especially with an annual, it's about 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days from trim to flush.
Nice.
Yeah. So, all right, you ready to get your hands dirty?
Correct.
All right, let's dig in. So we're starting off in the AquaPots with the palm there in the background, and that's going to be our thriller. And then we're going to go ahead and plant around it our various annuals. So the first one Rod has there in his hand, it's a new Agastache for this coming year. It's kind of a nice little yellow flower. And it's an annual, but a lot of areas in the country, it's going to perform as a perennial. We'll show you here what it looks like. This is called Mistro Gold. I don't know if this is focusing good, but it's for full sun to part shade locations. It gets 18 to 24 inches tall and creates just kind of a nice little mound. So what Rod's doing with this is he's planting it kind of in the back there of the palm, and we're going to use that as kind of a filler, thriller sort of. I mean, it's not, it could get 24 inches tall, but I don't anticipate it will for us here in Michigan. So it is hardy down to zone 6A, so 6A to zone 9, and nice upright mounting habit. And the thing I like about the Agastaches is they have a lot of spiky blooms, but they're also nice and fragrant as well. The next plant he's putting in, this is a lobelia, and there's a couple flowers there. This is called the Laguna Royale Lilac. So Laguna Royale Lilac can be grown in full sun to part shade locations and gets about 8 to 12 inches tall and wide. It creates kind of just a nice mounding, kind of a filler-ish look in the containers. Typically this would be more of a cool weather. It doesn't always love the hot heat, even though it can be grown in the full sun. Typically we would recommend more of a part shade location, especially if you're in warmer climates. Nice mounding habit, and just something to add, just kind of a nice little splash, a little sparkle of color into this planter. The next one we have a lot of excitement over, and this one here is a new Super Bells. It's a double, and it's called Super Bells Magic Grapefruit, double grapefruit. So Super Bells Magic Double Grapefruit gets about 6 to 12 inches tall, but it's an excellent spiller in these container combinations, because what it's going to do is it's going to mound up and then just trail over. So I love it because it's part of that Magic series. So we also have the Magic Pink Lemonade, but this one shows colors of peach and orange and pink and yellow, and it's just those cute little double rosebud looking blooms that are going to look just, I don't know, so cute and so fun. I know over the past few years, maybe 5 or so, there's been a lot of new introductions with the double Super Bells, and people have really loved them, and there's a lot of straight colors, a lot of mixed colors, so just a lot of options. The next one, oh my goodness, this is a new Supertunia Mini Vista. This is the new Supertunia Mini Vista Pink Cloud. One thing I'm noticing with Pink Cloud is the flowers do tend to be a little bit smaller, at least now, than what a lot of the other Mini Vistas are. So Mini Vista doesn't necessarily mean small mini flowers. It's just the flowers are a little bit smaller than the regular Vistas, but these are just quite a bit smaller than what we've seen with the other Mini Vistas. 6 to 12 inches tall, creates a nice mound, and if you plant it in the landscape, it can spread up to 2 foot. So it's a great plant, covers a lot of ground in the landscape. The next one is a sweet potato vine, and this one I think is just so unique. Every year we say we're not going to plant a sweet potato vine in these containers because they take over so often, but this one is just too unique not to plant. So this is a new Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Storm, or Shadow Storm actually, and it's got that variation of the green and the purple in it. So I think that's really cool. That's going to trail over this pot probably by the end of the summer, reaching the ground. Typically we'll go through and trim out a little sweet potato vine if it does get a little too much. The next one is a new phlox. So currently we have the Intensia series of phlox. This is a new series. It's called the Southern Blaze series. This is Southern Blaze Bright Pink, and phlox are a great plant for your full sun, more your drier areas in the landscape. Or if you have containers and maybe don't water quite as often, these ones here are a little bit more forgiving of drier conditions. This is going to be more of a filler in this container, creating just a nice upright mound. And with that bright pink, I think it's going to really accent some of these more softer pastel colors. Next one we have here is a James Britannia. Just a couple little flowers there. And this is the Safari Dusk. So now this one I don't believe is a new variety, but it's one that they sent us, so we are using it in this container. Safari Dusk is for full to part sun, and it gets 6 to 12 inches tall. But this also is a great spiller for in these containers. It'll kind of fill in and then just kind of trickle trail over the edge. I like to use these in place of Bacopa. So a lot of people will use Bacopa, the small little white flower, in their containers. But the thing I don't like about Bacopa is if they get dried out, they lose their flowers and they take about 3 weeks to recover and have more blooms. Where this James Britannia, even if it does get dried out, it continues to flower and you don't have that waiting period. So as you can see, Rod has this all nicely planted up. All the spaces are filled. We love to pack our planters really nice and tight. And we know that at the end of the season, it's going to look drastically different than what it does here early on in the season. But as long as that's your expectation, there's different looks at different points of the year. And I'm really excited to watch as this AquaPot here fills out and transforms from spring until summer. So we'll be sure to update you on the progress of this planter once we start doing our home garden tours and are able to bring these home. But for now, this will sit in the greenhouse for probably another 4 weeks or so as it fills out before we bring it out into our landscape. If you have any questions or comments on any of these new varieties, again, remember these will not be available until the summer or the spring of 2026. So these are not plant varieties you're going to be able to find on the market currently, but this is something that you could make note of and watch and see how they do in our trials for something you could put on your wish list for next season. Garden Crossings is a mail order company, and we do ship plants all over the United States. Here's just a quick glimpse of one of the greenhouses I'm in right now and all of the beautiful colors that are surrounding me. You can head to our website, gardencrossings.com, place your order, and we will ship any one of these beauties directly to your door. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.